I'm Bryan Pinkey, and you're watching 3 Dot Mag. Pulled out the sketchbooks again and sat down one night while watching football and pulled out a dollar bill and just started drawing face on it and just set it to the side. Did another one the next night or the next weekend while watching the game and started posting it, and next thing I knew, people were asking to buy them, and then here I am now with like a 6-month wait list, and you know, from selling them at $20 per bill just to get them sent to the person to now trying to make enough so that I can cover taking a day off work if I need to. Well, originally all this like stuff that's up on the walls and in my sketchbooks, a lot of it's fading out, a lot of it's getting just mixed up, and I mean, I've got just books of sketchbooks from the years, and I knew that it was going to get lost. I mean, we've moved so many times, and I wanted to kind of have a place that I could just, rather than scanning it and putting it in the computer and doing that, I was just taking pictures. And a friend of mine told me about Instagram, and I said, well, I'm just going to go on there because it's just photos. I'm just going to go through and just take pictures of everything, and if somebody asks me about my work, I can just show them, you know, here's some stuff that I've done without any preconceived idea. It was just a digital portfolio basically, and I started just sitting down taking pictures of stuff, even just going up to the wall and taking pictures of some little stupid sketches and things like that. And after a while I started seeing that, and I didn't understand how it worked with likes and people following you and all this stuff, and you know, it was like within a week there was like 50 people following along, and then there's 100, and then there's, you know, 3, and it was like, well, what the hell is this? And then people were asking, you know, if I sold anything, if I did logos, if I did album covers, and all, you know, all this stuff. So that was sort of like a spark or a light bulb going off that there's something here that I can, there's an angle here I can work somehow. And it ended up working out really good because I've been able to get with like this really good group of people that just everybody helps each other out, and they've been really motivating because you get some of these people that you kind of, it's weird, you have like an online friendship with them and you've never met them, but they've kind of become like a motivator to you, and they're putting out work and you're like, well, I need to put something out, you know, I haven't done anything this week, and so I'm putting something out, and then they put out something really cool and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta top that, you know. And so it's been a real motivator to keep doing stuff, because I found myself sitting on my butt and looking at what other people are doing, and I'm like, shit, I haven't done anything, and I'll sit down and start drawing something up, and it helps to push, and it's helped to sell stuff, of course, but I think the biggest thing is keeping active, you know, just having this group of people that critiquing and giving you pointers, and they're from all walks of life and different backgrounds, and you might get a response from one person that makes sense from this angle, and then you got somebody else giving you a whole nother idea or approach to maybe changing something or working on something, and that's been really, really nice. I think because who would have thought? I mean, it's kind of like, well, you know, if at first my wife was giving me shit because she was like, well, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you're drawing on the money and it's just sitting here now and you can't use it. And then the first time I sold one, I was like, huh? See? And so after that, then it was okay. But at first, yeah, I was, well, you're talking about like having money laying around. At first it was just like $10 bills, maybe after, I didn't even mess with a 20 until, like if I did anything on it, it was just a little something so that I knew that I could still use it. And there's probably a lot of them out there floating around in the area between Hardee's and the gas stations that, you know, I had it and I needed the money, so I just used them. And I've tipped the sushi waitresses and with, I mean, like super detailed bills that I had, and it was like, well, that's the only 10 I've got here, you know, and so there's a few of them floating around like that. But after I started getting a lot of interest in people buying them, it really ended up that when I've got them here, I'm working on them and sending them out, and there's maybe, I think at the most I might have had like $300 sitting in a drawer that I had already started whitewashing areas, or they're just sitting there waiting for work to be done. But for the most part, there's usually maybe $100 sitting around. I mean, Friday I went to the bank and I got $90 out. I just needed 2 20s, 4 10s, and 2 5s, and that's what I needed to get these other jobs done. So they're sitting in there flat, and so they don't get wrinkled, and I'll pull them out over the next week and be working on them. It's really, and people are kind of surprised, I just use this one I got from the Boston Park Plaza on the desk at the hotel. It's just, I prefer like a Bic pen. I mean, it's as far as cheap pens go, it's a quality one, but just a ink pen, just a regular old black ballpoint pen. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of Sharpie work on it just to get something really dark, but I end up going back over that in ballpoint pen just so it all kind of stays the same.